Welcome to QSL Smite Amateur League. We have a Shallows game featuring the Wailing Banshees and the Apprentices, or otherwise known as the Crew. To my left, right, and above me is my other co-host Barry Toppings on the camera. We'll have Buckwheat as we get into picks and bands here. Thor, Raijin bands coming straight out. Barry Toppings, how you doing tonight?
I'm all right. Pretty good, pretty good. Wish my keyboard wasn't screwed up, but other than that, I'm good.
Yeah, besides that, the Oleron band coming out. Any surprise bands so far coming out here, Mr. Toppings?
Uh, Not really. I probably wouldn't ban Thor top three because he's just not the guy that he used to be. But if they've got a killer Thor on the enemy team, it is Shallows and target banning can be very strong.
Speaking of a target ban, Hebo definitely getting hit here. A Hockaday special will be playing his first game with his new team since dropping down from Deep Sea for the Apprentices. Chernobog will finish out our bans here as Ghouls come in with the first pick. What do you think the Ghouls should pick here, Barry?
If you're top picking, there's plenty of strong picks open right now. You got Umoja up, really strong support. Ares, Athena. Typically, I don't like seeing. I don't like seeing a Freya. I was actually getting ready to say I don't like seeing a Freya top pick, but there it is.
Oh,
Um,
Chernobog Oleron band. A lot of people would argue that Fred is just the best ADC left up and very worth a first pick.
uh, I think it's dependent on what you want your comp to do. If you're going for that late game scaling comp, it's absolutely worth going it. But if you're going for that early mid game, I think
Understanding
Saul's
no
just
barrier
better.
to our success.
Um, Ganesh going into Freya is pretty strong.
Darkness falls upon you!
That the Ganesh Camazot's a very decently strong top two, but interesting when you pick that when other supports such as Athena are up. What do you think this Apprentices team prioritizes with this Ganesh pick?
Um, They're definitely going towards a a mid game style here, especially with the Camazot's pickups. Just a hard counter to Freya. Probably one of the best assassins into those magical ADCs with the Bat Out of Hell. Uh,
But you
Wukong.
do, I was about to say, you do, when you do pick Ganesh Camazotz, you do let the other team simply pick the two best gods in their roles with their next two picks. So Wukong Athena is a very strong top three here from the Wailing Banshees.
Yep. I especially like the Athena there. Like I'm surprised she made it down as low as she did. Personally, if I'm in a ranked game and I'm getting stuck as support, Athena's just my go-to. It's easy god. You get so much value off of it. Just hit your taunt late game and someone dies, or they use their beads. So
Not just late game, she has some of the best early pressure in the game currently with the global ult and just taunt being such a strong CC. But some Wukong, no soul laner in the game can really counter his early pressures. Apprentices do opt to select the Agni here. What do you think about this pick, Mr.
I like
Toppings?
I like the Agni. They don't really have anything that's crazy good at chasing him down with that dash because if they're chasing him through his flames, they're gonna take a billion damage. Um, Unless, of course, we haven't seen jungles yet. We do see a set ban. I'd like to see a Susano ban at some point here. Just because you've got an Agni, no CC immune ult. He can chase the Agni with minimal risk to himself. Daiji would also be a really strong pick into it.
Yeah, but the issue with the Sasana maybe, especially into a Ganesh, is that you kind of concede early pressure, and Ganesh late game can kind of shut you down as a Sasana. But we see the other team opt to ban out the Rat here. Pretty strong pick, especially in Shallows. Apprentices, both teams obviously saying that their junglers are not going to get a good pick here.
Yeah. Um, I think Ganesh is just one of those gods. He's definitely like the most annoying support in my experience playing against. He's easy to operate, and you have a forever long silence. So anyone diving the backline is just gonna have a hard time against it.
Big more times their second bans here. Is that going to be banned? What would you like to see maybe the Banshees ban, or not Banshees, Apprentices banned here to maybe facilitate their team comp as we say
Uh,
that Daji
yeah.
comes out.
Very good band there. And we see a Nike band coming out last. Uh, all around, you see a lot of jungle focus here. So there's definitely some clear pressure on those picks.
Yeah, with that the Nike being banned out, that means some other strong solo laners such as Amaterasu, Hades are going to be left up on the board. You have some very strong jungle picks still, like no one that I can think of right now. Uh, but yeah, so it's gonna be interesting what the Banshee's gonna take in the jungle. Like maybe they offer a
They will
Robin. I
all
know
obey their
a
goddess.
bunch of players, especially in lower end, love Robin. Very easy to execute and very decent into Agni. Apprentices will get the first pick here, and they do pick the Ishtar. What does Ishtar bring to a team comp, Mr. Toppings?
Yeah, I mean, Ishtar is just a solid god, man. I think she's very, very underrated in the meta we have now. She's very safe. She's got CC immune ult, she's got a cripple, she's got a stun, she's got a double stun if you want to use that dash aggressively. She has some of the best burn out of all the ADCs with her scatter shot. That's just going to be something that the Banshees are going to need to be aware of when going for these objectives. Between the Ishtar and the Ganesha, Agni bombs. They have some really good secure and some really good burn. So it's going to be completely, how they pilot these characters. This Ishtar getting behind against the Freya is something I am worried about because once Freya gets her hasten ring, Ishtar can't box her until she has her crit.
That being said, Banshees are taking quite a bit of time here to decide what they want. Have to pick a mid jungle here. A bunch of mids up still with only I'd say Hebo Raijin being banned, but that Hebo could have been a jungle ban. But mid laner kind of has his pick of a lot. What would you like to see in this mid lane?
Honestly, just another artillery mage to match the secure of the Agni. Daiji's banned, so Thoth wouldn't be bad here. An E set hover. Also, it's good objective secure. It's got pretty good self peel, some healing. Uh, Silence for team fights can be really good if you're being dove. And a
Evil
Marty
doesn't
being
stand a
hovered.
chance.
Fear
Martikaros.
what
This
is
is an ESET
unseen.
support. Athena jungle with a Martikaros locket. It should this comp should be Freya ADC, Sun Wukong Soul, Athena jungle, Marty mid, and ESET support, with Cerberus also being locked in by the other team, most likely going to that solo lane. What does a Cerberus do into this team comp of the Banshees?
So they have a lot of healing, right? They've got the E set, they got the Marty, the Wukong, Freya auto heals a lot. Um, Serb being that natural anti heal built into his kit on top of, I think a popular item for Serb is Divine Ruin. Uh, and the god does slap, but they're gonna have to be very careful because Serb can't match anywhere near the amount of pressure that Wukong has early. If he steps up without his jungler there, he's pretty much on the back line. Like he's gonna be sitting on his tower and AFK farming until he has some items online.
All right, with that statement, though, how do you feel about this Banshees comp they've drafted here?
I think it's really gonna come down to how well they can pilot that ESET support. Um, and is the jungler going to be going a full blaster Athena? Or are they going to do a hybrid build, half and half? Just have to see how it goes. Really not a big fan of mage supports right now. Just because of how easy tanks die late game, and you're already sacrificing that natural takiness that you would have if you're a guardian. So they're definitely going with more of a backline kind of style here. I'm really interested to see how that matchup's going to go against the Camazotz, in particularly. And you see the Camo went Party Punch there instead of Bow.
That makes sense. Party Punch is really good right now. Bow, ever since it got nerfed, has just been brought to the power level of the other ones, and particularly some people like to have the extra damage from Party Punch. Because right now, Camazotz only needs one rotation of abilities to kill you, so Bow doesn't really give him the most effective value as Punch would.
Coming out, seeing this pressure that this Athena Freya dual lane can have.
Yeah, like I said, a bunch of pressure, but we see Zolan is actually boxing pretty here, and I'm actually surprised they're taking this fight this early, Barry, as we see Sun Wukong just absolutely kind of obliterating the Cerberus. If he were to hit 3 right here, that'd be devastating for the no dice.
Yeah, definitely going to be a rough matchup for the Serbs.
Alright, as we get into pressure here, Cerberus going to get knocked up by the Sun Wukong. Sun Wukong has hit 3, will use the 2 to slow. Cerberus, not 3 yet, does not have his leap, very important. There's Sun Wukong looking for the last hit, finally does, as Simon Says Smite has killed Lineman Nelson for first blood.
I said early, man, you're Serb against a Wukong, man. You're gonna have to step back. You know you're not gonna have the pressure. I appreciate the effort though.
Yeah, especially stepping up with the level 3 spike that the Wukong had, which proved to be quite fatal. But we see Banish come here on the Ishtar, taking a lot of poke here early as Athena taunts him in. I'll be honest, Athena Ganesh probably, or not, my bad, Ishtar Ganesh probably doesn't ever outclear Freya Athena, as we get a gank from Camazotz. Camazotz over here just to provide some relief pressure. Camazotz still burning. Ganesh Science will be able to peel him out, but now where does the Ganesh go? Is Ganesh going to be forced to walk away? Does get whooped. Caught in, hits good. Ganesh Dash, I believe, just got caught and will fall as Kiki Jiki gets second blood onto the Ganesh, and Ganesh paying for the sins of his jungler there.
Yeah, you definitely don't want this Freya getting ahead, and that's going to be very detrimental for them. To say the least. Unfortunately, Ganesh kind of baited it.
Huge whoop. Ishtar forced to dash out. Did save the beads, however, so that is a very important tool for living there. Barry, you already see 2 out here for the Ghouls. Did you expect them to get this much early pressure?
Out of solo lane, yes. Out of duo lane, I'm kind of surprised they got to kill this early because they have an Athena over there, and like you should be aware of what Athena can do, especially in these early 2v2, 3v3s kind of scenarios. And your jungler getting caught out, and you have to sacrifice your Ganesh. It's rough.
I would have to be inclined to agree. As we look at builds here, anything interesting strike you so far?
I have been seeing a lot of Freyas going Bimbas for the late gameplay.
Nice confirm.
Conduit does have a lot of early game pressure on it, which is gonna help her get ahead early, but she's gonna be a little lacking in the late game coming to Tower Shred, Phoenix Shred, things like that. But it shouldn't hurt her too bad.
Yeah, it probably won't matter if she just 2 shots the entire team as the Agnes doesn't come out here, but it looks like to me this Ghouls team just has everyone shoved under their tower right now.
Yeah, Ghouls definitely have advantage, for sure.
Alright, as we see back in the dueling, just whoop after whoop. Ishtar's gonna take a lot, gets dashed in, but nice silence out of Ganesh, but it may cost him his life, forced to dash out. Does live with 1 health, as I guess Athena 5 isn't as important as everyone else's 5 and will not be able to take advantage of the 5 advantage.
Yeah, I think it was a safe bet there for the Freya to hold on to the ult there too, instead of going for the kill on the Ganesh. Just simply because you don't necessarily know where the Camazotz is going to be at. Without that ability, Freya is a lot more susceptible to ganks.
Well, ESET, speaking of ganks, ESET, silence off, but stun is good. Athena will use the taunt. Beads or ultimate is burned by the Ishtar. Make sure, and beads, both CC immunities on the Ishtar is down. So the Apprentices are going to be struggling this dual lane with this early pressure now.
Yeah, and the Freya is starting to get a pretty significant lead at this point as well. We'll just have to, once she backs and comes back to lane, this Ishtar is just going to be feel so far behind.
Oh, and Sun Wukong birds in, gets caught by the servers, I'll force to use the Cloud Somersault to walk out, and maybe a little bit of an oopsie there by Simon Says Smite birding at the servers.
Good play by the Serb. The Wukong is definitely more, you know, he's a lot easier to gank when he doesn't have that ult up, but he's still just so hard to gank with that. He's got so much safety built into his kit.
We look on the map here, about almost a 2k gold lead already for the Ghouls. Apprentices probably don't like seeing that, as the other team's comp is pretty good into the late game still, so they probably need to start to stabilize here.
Yeah, you definitely don't want this Ghouls team to get very much further ahead. You're gonna have to find a way of just getting back into this game a little bit. Of course, it's only 6 minutes in. 2K is not the end of the world, but a whoop comes out.
Huge whoop here. Taunt does get and killed. Does Kiki Jiki get onto Afoggle with both his CC immunities down? Athena made sure to take advantage of that there. All right. Is back into the solo lane here as we see Cerberus just getting horrendously out pressured. If you're the apprentices, what would you do to maybe try to stabilize this game already 6 minutes in?
Well, honestly, right now, your best bet is to try to passively farm. Try your best not to get caught out. Make sure you're getting your wards in good places.
Well, Ishtar doesn't have a ward and will not be able to see this Athena come, but I think did catch a glimpse on her. Will be backed into the tower finally. And I'll be honest, I don't see this Apprentices team sending any pressure to help deal with this Athena Freya just yet.
Yeah, this Camazot's unfortunately not really. It doesn't really seem like he's doing anything but farming right now. I mean, I understand it. You know, you're behind. You're 2 levels down. You got to get caught back up somehow.
Yeah, and it's just kind of Cusco hasn't really been involved either, besides that one very early kill. But he appears to just be farming better as Agni dodges the taunt there. If you're Camazots, what would you do? Do you keep on farming, trying to catch up, or do you try to maybe get one of these lanes ahead to maybe try to stabilize the rest of the map? As Agni Bomb actually does come out just to firm, but Mr. Top Big's back to the previous question.
So if I'm this Camazotz, yes, you do want to farm, but you can't leave your lanes high and dry either. So realistically, Camazotz has got pretty good poke. You come in the lane, get your poke off, get a little bit of XP, go back to your jungle.
Alright, well, let's see how Camazotz plays the rest of this game. It appears even the goals with a 3-0 are just kind of claiming all their farm. We've seen this Athena walk into the other jungle kind of just for free without any punishment. Not enough wards on the map. As Athena is now dashing at this purple buff, Ishtar will be kind of helpless to defend this, honestly.
This is a double rotation. I think the E-set ult was a little overkill there.
I think it's a good move. You're not really going to be pulling gold just yet with no one on the map dead, and you're just dropping to make sure that you still rob this Ishtar farm, who this Freya is now 3 levels up on.
Definitely something you don't want to see if you're the Ishtar, right? That's a terrifying sight.
Yeah, so the apprentices are gonna have to deal with this kind of this fed Freya, but they do have one small lead in the mid lane. It does appear Agni is just out farming Rim Cleaner by a little bit, but Camazot's actually looking for this Athena. Athena gonna get hit by a slip. Camazot's 3 off the mark, hits the 1, gets the extra power, but Athena just too tanky at this point in the game with already 26 stacks on Thieves and even had Med Cloak if needed, so not a successful, I would say, kill for Hockaday there.
No, there's no way you're killing that Athena right now. Unless you got some severe backup. But as you saw, the Ghouls team was raiding right around the corner, so if Kama chased it all, he was just dead.
Yeah, so you're going to see this Ghouls team, I believe. They're going to start trying to stack up on this duo lane, maybe look for a Gold Fury with this huge lead in duo.
And I think that Gold Fury is still contestable. You don't want to fight for it. You want to go for a steal. And if the ghouls drop and fight, you kind of just have to turn tail.
As we see Athena actually getting stunned here, takes a lot of pokes, so any hopes of doing an objective probably down the drain. But Athena does have an ult to TP back in if needed. Cerberus, though, probably losing a lot of gold here. But will use the ult, forces the cloud somersault. Sun Wukong does dive under the tower for the Cerberus. Camazotz has leaped in on top of Sun Wukong, will get knocked up for his troubles, and it appears that the kill should be over with. Camazotz does not have a lot of kill, and Cerberus actually almost died, I believe, to the Sun Wukong clone under his tower.
That's what I was knowing about. Oh no.
In fact, Sun Wukong is still going after this Camazotz on the right side of the map. Camazotz looking to maybe pick up a kill onto Simon Says Smite. Simon Says Smite, bat out of hell, used onto Sun Wukong, forced to jump out here. Does take a tower shot, but with Cerberus back, the fight should be over. Camazotz kind of wasting a lot of time here in the solo lane, but it does not appear the ghouls are looking to capitalize it just yet. But Athena ult does come in, looking for this purple buff yet again. Whooped off the mark, but they are looking to confirm this purple, as it does get confirmed by the ghouls, as Lyman Nelson snipes Simon Says Smite under his own tower. But meanwhile, the Gold Fury being pulled. Apprentice is looking to contest this bomb. Will be dropped. ESET ult has been dropped, and now it's pulled out of the ESET ult. Sanctified Fields, and Apprentice is out secure the Sanctified for the ESET ult, and I don't know how that happens if you're a Cusco there. Quite a blunder there.
Looks like there was a little bit of misplay. They pulled it. They actually pulled the Gold Fury out of the ESET ultimate there, and it landed right onto a Ganesh ult.
I think it was pulled out, but it was pulled back in. I believe what stole it was an Agni burn damage or a Ganesh one there. It was just mistimed by Cusco for the ESET or expired, and he just didn't place, or he placed it too early. But Beacon will go to the ghouls, maybe. Ganesh walking up to here, looking to contest.
You know, Serb getting a kill on solo, and between that Gold Fury, they're starting to stabilize a little bit here, which is what you want to see.
Camazotz has to use the bat out of hell if a pillar fight were to break. That's an important tool down for the Apprentices, as Ganesh forced to retreat off, as pillar does go the way of the ghouls. Relatively not that contested. In fact, they even got resources out of the Apprentices for the contest there. So Cerberus will use his Stygian Torment to force the Cloud Somersault yet again. Cloud Somersault. This is just one of those things where I think Simon just may be playing a little bit too aggressive as Tiger Stun does come out.
Yeah, I think he's I mean, he's pretty tanky. He knows he's pretty tanky. But you definitely don't want to be just expending your Sun Wukong ult there for just to get out of a tower pull that could have been avoided in general. Maybe just getting a little too overconfident in lane.
We see a huge grouping onto this Pyromancer by the Apprentices. They may just look to pull, as we see Whoop though onto the Ishtar. Athena is inbound. Ishtar forced the ult to try to immune, but will just get autoed down by Kiki Jiki. It's almost like that Athena just didn't need to be there, as this purple buff will be invaded. And again, this Ishtar just feeling the brunt of the hard focus of the ghouls.
Yeah, if you're Ishtar right now, luckily you didn't use your beads. Probably a good call when you know you're dead anyway.
I have to agree with you, but the Apprentices don't pull anything in response either, so kind of just a free kill for the ghouls, and you have to wonder, when are they going to maybe try to help A-Fall go out in his lane at all, as we see Sun Wukong. I couldn't even tell. I think he got Stygian Tormented. Yeah, Lyman Nelson expended ult there. Just still a very hard kill for the Cerberus, even at this point in the game.
Yeah, luckily, you're Serb, and you're starting to get a little bit out of the danger zone against this Wukong. The main thing is avoiding that early game 1v1. Serb's starting to get pretty tanky as well here. Actually has quite a bit of a lead on the Wukong now, which is awesome for him.
I have to actually wonder though, this Cerberus has elected to go erosion. What do you think the thought process was behind that?
I couldn't even tell you.
They have E-set shields.
Yeah, that's the only thing that I can think of.
as we see mitigation coming out, Ghouls do confirm the objective this time, as actually a bunch of abilities have been used on Freya. Whoop comes out, Agni caught on the whoop, forced to Aegis, E-set stun off the mark, Agni dash out, Cloud Somersault has been expended as this tier 1 tower is looking scrumptious, as Sun Wukong lands onto the Ganesh taking a lot of damage, but silences Flamio as Hakaday finds Flamio for the kill, and the Stygian Torment going to be used. Freya does use his ult to get out of it, but that's a 1 for none for the side of the Apprentices. A little bit too much early aggression, and maybe even Foggle recouping some of this lead here.
Yeah, it was definitely detrimental for the Ghouls there. You're starting to see this lead trickle down a little bit by a little bit here. Everything they got off of that Pyromancer, they...
I hate to interrupt you. This was a relatively free Gold Fury call. Like, there's no one here to defend it, and Ghouls, with the smart play, go for this Gold Fury.
Yeah, Ghouls definitely playing the more objective-based game here, trying to push their lead as far as they can.
Yeah, we see in the graph they even actually increased their goal lead despite losing one of their own. Hakaday hasn't really gotten too much involved, 1-0-0, but he's going to be scaling, opting to go Transcendence at a Soul Eater. What do you think about that, Mr. Toppings?
Not a fan of it. I'm going to be straight up. Not a fan of it. Soul Eater's cheaper, easier to stack, because you just have to be near minions dying, and you have to be near God's dying.
What is Cusco doing as an E-set? He's gonna get Sanctified Field. Ishtar ult was used, and E-set will die. Bad out of hell. That is 3 ults, but Cusco just, I'm be honest, is just randomly invading at 16 minutes in. Gets himself killed.
Yeah, I think that's just a little bit of the overconfidence with that lead coming out.
Yeah, I know it's just Cusco. I've played with him a bunch. Cusco will just randomly get bored and start invading back camps when he really shouldn't have. But that's a nice pick for the Apprentices to recoup some of this gold. But unfortunately, this E-set wasn't really worth that much to begin with. As we see Ishtar forced to use dash, is in quite a bit of trouble, especially if a whoop were to hit here. But appears not to be up, so Ishtar does get out for free. But it's unfortunate that this Freya, though, just kind of like fed to all hell right now, Barry.
Yeah, no doubt about that, and that's what I said I was worried about from the very beginning of this game was the Ishtar and the Freya matchup. The Freya getting ahead, it's terrifying if you're the enemy team, because right now you've got a Marty for burst and a Freya for DPS, and your whole team's at a disadvantage.
Did the Marty core just beads there? He did use beads, so this Stygian Torn will hit the mark. Aegis come out, huge whoop, probably saving the Marty core. Cerberus burns, and he burns so fast that I couldn't even react to it. Lyman Nelson falls to the Ghouls, as this beacon should just go to the Ghouls, as they're looking for this, maybe this mid tower to follow up here.
Yeah, and we're seeing the damage that Freya can do, especially now.
Ooh. Stun whoop combo off the mark, but it does not matter as Agni just falls to Kiki Jiki autos as mid T1 goes down. Not a lot of response there from the Apprentices, and kind of maybe standing a little bit too far forward, as it appears the Ghouls may be calling for a Fire Giant here.
Yeah, the Ghouls can pretty much do whatever they want right now. I mean, your ADC is 4 levels down, Spray is level 18, and they have some of the best secure in the game on their team.
Even if they don't secure it correctly. Who's good? But yeah, no, Ghouls kind of just, this is going to be the point to where the Apprentices either have to nut up or shut up, so to say, as the Apprentices are at risk of getting snowballed here with this Fire Giant going down for the Ghouls.
Have a very significant gold lead, very significant XP lead. So I'm just sitting here racking my brain. If I'm the Apprentices, what can I do to get back into this game?
Well, you probably go back 20 minutes ago and you sit and do it late, but but yes, it is going to be an uphill climb for this Apprentice team as they try to get maybe farm off of different spots of the map. To me, mainly, you have to get this Ishtar online. He's a whole item down, like an item and a half down. Like, it's not great for him. He did opt for Wind Demon second, which I think is interesting. But to me, I don't think the Apprentices can really defend anything outside of a bird right now.
Yeah, I mean, regular Fire
from the Camazots of the Apprentices.
Yeah, my man's got to be getting flustered right now. I would be getting flustered. Just because, what can I do? If I try to circle around and get a flank, I'm gonna die. If I can't just sit here and do nothing, you know?
Athena opting for I forget what it's called, Shogun's. Very interesting item to me. Probably still. I know he does have the double like ADC backline, but I still have to think there's probably better items to go in that slot.
Yeah, definitely. I tend to agree. I think Shogun's is if you've got a double ADC like straight auto attack based comp and you got a Fafnir, throw Shogun's in there, sure. But as it seems, it doesn't really matter because the Ghouls are they're doing whatever they want, man. They got a 12k gold lead.
Yeah, so the apprentices, they kind of just have to like let the ghouls what they want, and they hope they have to mess up multiple times here. Both Pyro and Fire Giant will be up. This is, keep in mind, just a 23-minute game so far. There's already a left Phoenix at a 12k gold lead. What do the apprentices have to do to come back to this, to maybe have a fighter's chance?
Oh man, you gotta hope for a miracle steal on some objectives and try to catch someone out of position and go for a single pick, reset, and try to repeat. Because there's no way you're winning in a 5v5. Maybe underneath Phoenix, if the Athena doesn't hit another 2-man taunt.
Yeah, as Fire Giant will be burned here, it's important to note on this next fight, Titans are running down right here in a couple seconds. Uncontested Fire Giant to the Ghouls. Camazots, Ganesh pushing out left lane. Believe both have been seen on the wave, so it could have prompt the Ghouls to just push up right to see what reaction they get out of the Apprentices.
Yeah.
Tower does good down. Athena dash does not have the range to taunt anyone, does not use the expend, but this Titan's burning fast, and now the Apprentices have the conundrum of how do they defend both left and a Titan siege. But it appears the Ghouls may not even be waiting on Titan as the minions walk in. Sun Wukong walked into 0-1. Eset's done out, quarter healthy to Ganesh already. Bull has been used to get out. Wukong kind of just trapped here, forced a cloud somersault. Some damage. I wonder if he's gonna go in or out here as Eset Ball hits multiple, almost half healthing the Cerberus. That Eset Ball is smacking right now as Titans halfway up the lane. Apprentices can just reset here a little bit, and a lot of resources from the Ghouls already. Eset Ball does not hit the mark. Phoenix gonna be looking at Agni Bond, hits multiple. Sanctified Fields hits multiple. Stygian Torrent catches lap 4, but it may not matter. Cerberus is gonna fall, but Flamio gets picked up by Hakaday. Bat out of hell has been expended. Freya forced to use all 2 and Aegis as Kuzka falls to Steve. Kiki Jiki that does find Hakaday. Agni gonna get gone on here, forced to Aegis. Subukon getting all his damage out. Agni does hit a huge stun on the Marty Core. Marty Core forced to retreat. Agni Bomb off the mark as the Titan is now here for the fight. Swinging on top of this Ishtar. Ishtar's half health, but it's a 3v4 despite this 12k lead. Cerberus does leap in, uses the 2 to shred magical procs. Freya's gonna turn on Cerberus. Freya, though, taking a lot of damage, does get stunned here as Afoggle finds the shutdown of Freya and a huge defense by his Apprentice team. But the right side Titan is probably gonna claim this Phoenix here.
It was a huge fight for them, but now you have 2 Phoenixes down. You have 2 Phoenixes down. Now you're in even worse position than you were before. And I don't know if it was worth chasing those guys down. I think once you got a couple picks there, you just fall back and defend your Phoenix.
I kind of disagree because you gotta keep in mind it's 26 minutes in. Ishtar's already not even 20 yet, despite getting this shutdown, and they're going to get I think the Apprentices are lucky that the Ghouls did not end the game there, considering the lead and a Titan pushing, so that's great for the Apprentices. Maybe you could have argued they should have backed for Phoenix, but they probably wouldn't have had another chance to kill this Freya for the rest of the game if they hadn't.
We'll see how it goes. It was a great defense either way you strike the match. But we'll have to see. Can they do it again? That's the magic question.
Yeah, Ghouls playing that rather impatiently, not waiting on Titan. Kind of get their comeuppance for it, but they still have quite a big lead here. Not everyone on the Apprentices is 20 yet. Ishtar just ticked to 20. Ganesh is 19. They're still scaling, and this I would like to point out this Ganesh only has 2 full items right now, so he's just going to die rather quickly.
Yeah, being down all game will do that to you, especially in support. Because when your team's down and your support, you're really down.
Yeah, Ghouls look up to pick up the relatively free Pyromancer. Left Phoenix also fell to minion wave during that fight, an important note. So they don't have the chances of a Phoenix respawning. And this Fire Giant is going to be a regular Fire Giant unless the Ghouls choose to wait.
You know, if you're the Ghouls right now, you're okay. Well, we just lost that fight. They're at a severe disadvantage. So, do we want to force a fight? Are we baiting this Fire Giant to see if they'll come out? Hopefully they wouldn't. But at this point, I think they're just better off waiting for EFG and close out the game.
Well, it appears that they're making a rotation to mid. Athena has used ult to get to a rotation mid, and they may just opt to shove this mid Phoenix in, knowing that there's 2 fire waves pushing in the side lanes right now. As Kuska, awfully far up by himself, will not get punished, but this Phoenix could be looked at as, no, the Ghouls are just opting to shove the wave in. Okay. Fire Giant will spawn in here in a couple seconds.
Yeah, I don't hate the call there. Pushing your waves up, pretty smart. You don't want to risk losing this EFG, even with you being as ahead as you are, because that could extend this game another 10-15 minutes.
Fire Giant has spawned, and it appears the Ghouls will be waiting on the EFG. So that should give the Apprentices time to shove waves out, maybe alleviate some of this pressure for an EFG fight or a defense at least. The Ghouls, though, it's definitely still in the driver's seat.
Oh, for sure, for sure. They would have to mess up like that another 2 or 3 times to really beat any kind of risk.
I can't imagine we get a lot of action before this, like I would say 40-50 second mark, but we will see Kamazot's Ganesh opt to go for left wave. I think the Ghouls have to respect that, and they're gonna start the Fire Giant right now. 20 seconds till EFG. Do they send anyone back to deal with maybe a Phoenix push here from the Kamazots, as they both actually ought to retreat? I'll be honest. I think Kamazot just shoves Phoenix there.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, so maybe a little misplay, but Kuzco stepping a little bit too far, forced to use beads, maybe not knowing that his one is knock-up immune. Stygian Torrent is down, but sorry Kuzco's beads, but EFG has gone to the way of the Ghouls as they look to re-shove these Phoenixes. They opt to go right side first. Cerberus leaves the fountain, so he won't be here for the initial fight maybe. But Fire Wave going to be leaking in here in one moment as the Ghouls looking to take a fight. Kamazots will be stunned and spotted. Almost dies. Takes a lot of damage. Take the fight feels will add you bomb hits multiple, but that Phoenix will not be long for this world, as actually no one's hitting the Phoenix. Cloud Somersault has to be expended by Somukong just to buy time. The Phoenix finally falls, and Ganesh, very low health. Cerberus not much better in his spin sunder. Ishtar stunning too, as Kuzco gets picked off, but Lyman Nelson gets killed by Kiki Jiki himself, as now middle Phoenix will be looked at. Bomb placed will get the mark. 1330 on the bomb, and middle Phoenix falls as low health bars on the Ghouls may cause them to retreat prematurely from when they want to.
It's honestly a pretty good case scenario. Yeah, you lose 2 more Phoenixes, pick up a kill, a little bit of gold in your pocket. You're not terribly off from where you were, right? Just need to be aware that they do have EFG, so maybe you don't try to force a fight. Try to get them to step out of position a little bit, and try to get some picks. But you're gonna see Pyromancer go down here.
Yeah, no one opting to pick up the bomb is always interesting, as Frey will eventually. So when that bomb's on a backliner, it can often put themselves at risk to bomb the Phoenix. So that could be an interesting scenario that plays out later. But Ghouls know they have plenty of time on this EFG, are taking their sweet time, just wiping the map off of farm right now.
Yeah, not a whole lot going on. I'm interested to see what the Ghouls do next year. I don't think they're too bad off. I think they could take this left side Phoenix pretty easily. You know, they've got 2 bombs. Just have to be a little more aware of your positioning next time, so you don't get picked off. Unlucky for the E set, she expended her beads before that fight.
Yes, Stygian Torment forcing her beads out was a big play there for the Apprentices, but they still have a rough hill to climb as this left Phoenix is going to be looked at by the Ghouls full strength here. 4 with EFG, E set probably doesn't really need it, so look here, 3 members have been sent to deal with right fire wave. As if the Ghouls see this, they may just walk in and try to take the Phoenix. Athena dashes in, Agni Bomb has been used, stuns the Athena, but this Phoenix falls almost immediately as taunt goes on the Ganesha. Ganesha does get looped. Ganesha gonna take about a huge chunk of his health bar, does get his dash off, which will save him momentarily, as Camazotz though gets 2 items and Emma dies for it, as he takes a lot of damage. Now Titan could be looked at for the Ghouls, but EFG fire minions are coming into the base. This could be doomsday scenario for the Apprentices as fire waves coming in. Titan is now under attack. Marty Core does get some abilities off, but huge Agni stun, half healthing the Marty Cores, but Kiki Jiki finding alignment Nelson in the back. Titan not burning relatively fast. Esettle has been dropped in Fountain for whatever reason. Flamia falls. Simon says Smite finds 1. Titan still being looked at here. 1 health. Banner of the Hill does not find any, and the Ghouls take game 1. Maybe a little bit shaky at the end, but a very dominant game 1 win for the Ghouls.
Did you see the Serb try to go in for an ult there and just got blown up? Just it's like he didn't have any defense items at all.
Well, he doesn't have any magic defense. He has like it's like 30 prots from erosion. The 30 prots from erosion, 55 from. Oh no, it's just 50 from both those items. Then whatever prots breastplate gives you from this passive. So it's like almost like 100 or so magic prots. So he just gets blown up by this magical backline of the Ghouls. But I would have to say Ghouls had a pretty good game 1 there. What went right for them, Barry?
They focused dual lane, got the Freya ahead, and that was pretty much the story of the game, right? Camazotz tried to come over 1 time, got caught out. Ganesh comes over, tries to help him out, and ends up getting killed for it, and then it was just snowball from there.
8k damage out of this Camazotz, but with that though, we will throw it to a break as we go to game 2. Can the Apprentices recover, or will the Ghouls demolish the Apprentices once more in game 2? Welcome back. Welcome back to QSL, Shallows Division. Wailing Banshees Apprentices. Banshees up 1-0 due to time constraints. We don't really have picks and bans here, but we do see the teams while our spectator gets set up here with the actual in-game content. And Barry, what do you think about these teams?
Oh man, I think you let Chernobog, Wukong, and Ganesha all on the same team. You're asking for problems. Yeah, you got a Pele, you got an Athena, you Nike. You're really hoping this Pele is going to be able to carry their game for you. That's your best case scenario.
I have to concur with you, Barry, as I think you're getting a little bit too quiet here. Maybe want to check that. But yeah, I'd have to say this Banshees comp very strong, just like it was in game one with Cusco opting to, I think, to play another magical jungler. What do you think about that, Mr. Barry?
I think if it's not broke, don't fix it. That's what I think.
Would have to occur. So the Apprentices kind of got off to a rough game one start. What do you think they have to do this game to prevent that from happening just again?
You need to be aware what the Banshees did last game, right? They focused dual lane. They got the Freya super far ahead. You need to be able to match. If you're not going to be on the same map, the map side that they're focusing, then you need to be pushing leads or trying to gain an advantage elsewhere. And, if you're not doing that, then you're effectively not doing your job as a jungler, right?
All right. As we get into the game here, though, I would have to say Banshees played very well game one. Do you think there's anything they can really improve on, or do you think they should just try to run the same stuff they did last game?
I think the only spot the Banshees really messed up was getting overzealous at that Phoenix Siege. Not really wanting to wait for the Titans. Sometimes they got a little out of position and got a little punished for it. I would just kind of keep that in mind that even though you have a massive lead, you can still lose it.
As we get into comps here, we see nothing too weird out of the ordinary for each team, despite the apparent appearance of a Nike mid lane, as Lyman Nelson actually almost died into his camp. Any interesting builds you see so far, or is it par for the course?
So, Ghouls got a pretty standard going here. Same with the other side here. I'm not really surprised at any of these bans. They're not bans, but builds. Jeez.
Wouldn't be either, as Nike appears to be getting a little bit aggressive, but it's probably going to lose that trade battle with the Sun Wukong, as I believe the Ghouls, just like game one, has shoved every one of their lane opponents under tower very early on. As we see Athena using quite a lot of abilities this wave, Ganesh Soul Clear is going to be superior though, as Athena gets stunned. Soul autos coming through doing a lot of damage. Just needs to find one more or two more autos and couldn't find them, which is fine though, because now they just have infinite pressure in his lane.
Yeah, you definitely need to be aware of the Soul early game damage, and I think this Nike forgot about Wukong passive, trying to take that fight super early. Pele is making a rotation over here.
Pele is coming to the dual lane. Is Nike going to be hitting the Sun Wukong? But Sun Wukong, I believe, still will have dash up. Actually did dash the way, but it does not matter as Pele just can't find enough damage with her Nike to for it to even matter. But rotation at Heba pretty early here. Cooldown buff does go, but Nike, very low health, does eagle at the Nike. Maybe a mistake. Water spout will not be used as Nike does escape with her life. But meanwhile, in dual lane, Athena taking the knockup from the Gesh will be silenced. The Soul Autos will come out trying to find Athena. Does get the dash off and does escape with her life here.
A lot of fighting here. Hero's still over in Soul Lane.
Quite an interesting play, but there's not really a lot of farm up on the map anyways for him to get, so probably can just stay there for quite a while. But like I said, this Ghouls team, without even getting a kill, already have about a 800 gold lead just to, like, passively farming.
super early in the game as well. That's without First Blood.
Yes. Just from virtue of all these minions falling their towers, just losing that amount of gold is just stacking up onto this Apprentices team. As Hebo actually gets the invade off on Nike, which should feel even worse for this Nike.
It's definitely gonna be rough for her. Nike is quite a mana-intensive god, so.
All right. As we see, the red team clearly just outfarming his blue team's Apprentices, gonna fall behind in gold, but are even in levels so far. Would you like to see Apprentices maybe get a little aggressive somewhere?
Oh yeah, for sure. I'd like this Pele to be taking advantage of the immobility that Chernobog has without his ultimate, but he takes over to 5. You're gonna see beads on the ROM come out. Now I think the Pele needs to rotate over to dual lane and try to get some kind of pressure. You know, you gotta do something. You can't just let all of your lanes get bullied.
Yeah, Soul did have to expend ult to confirm shield buff there. Sun Wukong got a TP back in. TP is going to be used, but now has the Cloud Somersault as the solo lane. Should basically be unkillable for the rest of the game, but so if you're the Apprentices or Ghouls, don't you just put a lot of pressure in this duo lane?
Yeah, it worked. It worked for you game 1. And you need to remember that this the Saul's she's not gonna be as effective as Freya is in the late game. Not to say that she doesn't slap, she's just not quite as hard as Freya. So snowballing on the Saul, getting the early rotations would be great.
Both Bastions already down for the side of the Apprentices. Ebo gonna get these confirmed, so just like I said, the Ghouls already 800 gold up, maybe even more here soon, as Totem should just follow the way of the Sun Wukong. It does. So even more of a gold influx here, as it now has a flux to 1,000, but Chernobog does get knocked off Pele, will not commit anything beyond that, looking just to get some poke damage off onto the Chernobog.
Debo on this blue timer, going for the gank on the Nike.
Cloud Somersault will be used. Nike still has ult, probably still has jump too. Cloud Somersault does land on Nike. Athena ult has been used. Pele blinks it. Hebo crushing wave has been expended. Hebo does dodge the initial burst, but Lyman Nelson does find the kill on the Cusco, and Sun Wukong may not be that far away as Discordia Apple hits Simon on the back end, and that's a double kill for the side of the Apprentices.
It's definitely a step up for him. You've neutralized that gold lead they had. And yeah, that's definitely what you want to see. And you know, you got to keep in mind, anytime the enemy team has an Athena, a 2v2 can turn into a 3v2, or as you saw there, a 4v2 with a Discordia rotation.
Chernobog not opting to use ult to rotate, but instead farm up. Will maybe get a minion lead here in a second. But that is an important double kill for the Apprentices, as the Ghouls do lose their small little lead.
Every little bit helps.
On off the mark there, just trying to outconfirm minions, does not get it over the Hebo. We'll look to clear this cooldown camp, but if you're the Apprentices, what do you do now to maybe even build a lead of your own? As Soul is just knocking down the T1 tower.
Not let that happen. Won't let that happen for sure. I think you just gotta focus on where your strengths are if you're the Apprentices. And you know, Saul's gonna do what Saul does. She is one of the best early game tower shredders in the game. Hands down, one of the best early game magical ADCs in the game. So you're gonna see Ganesh taunt, or not? I think the taunt.
Ganesh taunt.
Yeah. I saw options in an Athena taunt and mix the two gods together.
Not really a huge amount of early pressure on Chernobog or Ganesh here, as Summerkong's just gonna eagle away. Lyman Nelson opting to take a tower shot. Chernobog does get taunted, get discoursed, takes half his health bar, but Ganesh is there to make sure he doesn't take too much. But Pele, looking, sniffing maybe, looking for some value here. We'll see the Ganesh rotation, but Heba also here. This will not turn into any skirmish, especially with the emergence of the Soul. I could be wrong though. Athena maybe looking to go in here. We'll get water spouted for trouble. Chernobog has been used. Dharmic sanctified pillars have been used, or Dharmic pillars have been used. Ult misses Pele. Pele forced ult out, so a lot of resources used by the ghouls to not really get anything here. Only really getting Hawkaday's ult, as Simon Says might get soloed by Lyman Nelson, but ghouls looking to pull the Gold Fury here, and it does not look like it's going to be contested at all. Maybe not even knowing that it's being pulled. Crushing Wave will be used to confirm it, but that's a big mental lapse by the Apprentices. Simon DC's here. Wonder if a pause will come out, as apparently it won't. Kuzco's still looking to fight. Does not care that his teammate is not in the game currently. We'll get the invade off on the purple successfully. Now maybe you'll see a pause come out. Any day now.
There it is.
Oh, there it is. Kuzco just had to get the invade off before pausing.
So was that a disconnect and he died on a tower, or was that a tower dive?
I believe he died under tower.
Because he did ult. I'm pretty sure he went for I don't know. I wasn't watching.
Well,
just saw them
from where
kill
he
him.
died from, he's probably under tower and DC'd. Because Nike wasn't low enough to get killed there himself, so he probably ulted and then crashed and then landed under tower or something. Anyways, a huge kill for the Apprentices, but they did drop the Gold Fury as this lead has swelled to about 1,600 for the Ghouls. Apprentices may have 3 kills, but are getting out macroed here, Barry.
Yeah. You gotta get your wards up. You gotta have some vision on the map, and be aware of those objectives. And I think that's something that the Apprentices were struggling with last game too. Was just a lack of warding.
Ganesh gonna, I believe, opt for a Genji's Guard or Shogun's first. Quite an interesting item there. But it looks like that a lot of these mid camps are going to the way of the Ghouls also. Soul having a level lead, Chernobog even, Ganesh having a level lead. Probably the entire lead here is Nike does jump in on Sun Wukong, but like I said, they should be pretty much unkillable at this point in the game to each other.
Yeah, Nike has a little bit of an advantage with that breastplate upgrade, but the Sun Wukong does just take over.
Ebo is looking to gank over in solo lane. Nike will just leap out. Crushing Wave has not been used just yet. One will use. Nike, I believe, ulted there. The shield instantly popped. Sun Wukong looking for the Tiger Stun. Jump will be used as Water Spout off the mark. Hand cannons do hit, and Cloud Somersault do confirm the kill. Simon Says Smite will live here as there's no rotations, but meanwhile on the left side of the map, Pele looking to get some value, but Exacerbate has already been used by Soul and will get him out successfully. So a nice gank there from the Kuz of the Code.
Unfortunately, Disco on the rotation there a little bit late. So she's rotated. She doesn't lose out on the waves because solo lane wave's there, but it is quite a bit of time expelled there.
Nice gank from Kuzco, recognizing that Nike did not have any magical defense just yet, as Sun Wukong has now re-stabilized his lane, as we see a huge grouping by the Ghouls onto this left side of the map of the Apprentices, but it looks like Apprentices will respawn here, going with a pincer formation. Pele blinks in, knock up off the mark. Dharmic Pillars has been used. Pele will also use Hebo. Forced to beads, uses his carpet to slow down the enemy. Athena though, solo chasing the Hebo, maybe by himself. Rama snipes off the mark. Athena already half health, has now going to be forced to walk away. Shell has been used. Chaos Apple has been used. Chernobog taking a bunch of damage, but after all that, it's a successful purple invade and nothing else comes of this fight.
A lot of resources expelled there on both sides. know, it's good the Wukong has got himself. He's actually experience now as well. So really good for him. Cusco recognizing that his Wukong is behind, wanting him to reestablish that dominance that Wukong is known for in lane.
Beacon is taken by the Ghouls, uncontested most likely, and shield buff will actually go to Soul as Rama forced to retreat. I think spotting multiple people on a ward, thought he could get pincered there. Ghouls clearly still have the front foot in this game as his lead has swelled up to 3.5k. Apprentices kind of just bleeding slowly here.
It's a death by 1,000 cuts right now.
All right, as Soul's gonna take their back now. This could, if they spotted that Soul back, they could pull this gold, but gold will not be pulled. They're just getting ward on it. Keep in mind, Ghouls do have Oracle Vision on top of the Gold Fury, so any pull would be spotted out immediately. It appears that the Ghouls just are content on out-farming their opponent at this time.
Yeah, I mean, they have almost a 4k gold lead at this point, just off of farming. The Apprentices are also down 2 towers.
Well, Ghouls are going to get spotted out on this Gold Fury. The ward is there, but Sun Wukong has made the rotation. Nike would not be here, so any fight would be a 5v4 as the Ghouls look to pull his Gold Fury. Rama snipes are got out. Red team do confirm it. Rama has been expended. I believe Soul and Hebo expended, confirm that gold, but without a fight coming afterwards. Relatively free Gold Fury there for the Ghouls.
Yeah, Rom tries to get it, just
Nike rotates here. That's an interesting rotation. I must say, berry toppings. Turnaball gets his beads forced. That has to ult. It is 1 health, so wherever he lands will only be 1 health. He could just up down. Does just get out beads and ult expended on the Chernabog. Pele even saved their ult. Had to use Blink to catch up. That was a huge kill for the side of the Apprentices.
yeah, not quite enough damage to finish him off there. You do get the ult though, and you get the beads, so definitely something to be aware of. If you want to push, try to grab a objective or force a fight, Chernobog's not going to be able to be there without rotating the old-fashioned way.
Well, Wukong taking a lot of damage, has to use Cloud Somersault, does spread the Chaos Apple to the rest of his team, but Athena already half health. Nike not much healthier, as a successful defense of the Pyromancer for the Ghouls, as Ghouls may actually look to get re-aggressive, especially with the 1 health Athena. Dark Pillars hits the huge Water Spout and the Ganesh combo, taking out Reporter support, and Pyromancer probably won't be too far behind, especially with the Soul rotation.
I guess the numbers don't really matter when you can just...
Pyromancer does fall relatively quick. Pele being spotted out here, gonna get silenced here. Hebo looking to maybe get this damage off. Hand cannons does successfully hit as we cut away from the Hebo. Now we're back to spawn as Crushing Waves hits Hockaday for his entire health. Hebo 1 health, but still in the fight as hand cannons hit Lyman Nelson, taking him out as Discordia will get Tiger Stun. Kiki Jiki hits the Soul to confirm it's Diesel, and things have gone from bad to worse for the Apprentices as his gold lead has now swelled up to 7k in 15 minutes, and both objectives have gone to the Ghouls.
Power find herself in a very similar position as they did in game 1. Guys, you can't just run at them.
They ran at him in their own jungle, man. Like, that's a fight that Cusco took. Cusco somehow doesn't die, by the way.
Yeah,
1 health, Crushing Wave in.
A little unfortunate there.
Here are the Apprentices. What do you have to do to maybe come back in this game? It's a question we find ourselves asking quite a bit lately.
Well, I'm thinking their mentals might be a little shot. Probably it looked like a little improper communication there from the Apprentices, and the Ghouls capitalized on it. You just gotta pull yourself back into it. You know, Here we go. Hebo on the solo side again.
Nike does use his leap, does have ult available to Lyman Nelson. Leap should be up not too far along. Hand cannon does get expended. One health is Nike. Nike doesn't even get a chance to ult as Crushing Waves takes out the Nike. Lyman Nelson maybe playing that a little bit too recklessly is now Pele looking for the knockup on Hebo. Will not hit Water Spout off the mark, so it's a neutral trade, but Nike, the important member there, dies as now the lead for the Soul Laner swells up, and this could be very bad for the Apprentices.
Yeah, this Hebo is huge, and there's no other way to say it. Hebo's one-shotting solo laners.
Pillar,
Yeah.
Pillar will fall to the Ghouls as Gold Fury will be the next objective that is up. Ghouls have a huge grouping on this left side of the map. For this Gold Fury, Sumukong may be looking for any farm / people that he can get any resources off before gold. Gold does drop here, and it appears that Sumukong is actually burning the right, making sure that the Apprentices can't just stealth pull fire, and it appears to be a great call by the Sumukong. Does get taunted in, will take about... He's actually not taking any meaningful damage, and I'm gonna be honest, I'm gonna call this out. Lyman Nelson, for whatever reason, goes Relic Dagger second.
Yeah, I don't know, man. And you can't even say it's because he was down on gold, because when he went into the item, he was ahead.
Well, tower does fall, blue team does find, or the Apprentices do find some counter gold, but Hebo is taking mid T2 as we speak. TP will be used by this Nike. Can't really contest the Hebo all that much despite his blocking items, so does successfully defend the tier 2, but has to use the TP in response. And I'm gonna be completely frank with you, this Relic Dagger means he's just going to die whenever someone goes on top of it.
I agree, 100%. You definitely need to slot in magical defense there, especially when you just saw a Hebo rotation right before that, and seeing what he's doing to you. He does fortunately have an Onis right now.
As we see multiple leads out onto this Ghouls team, not anyone in their lane is... Their smallest lead is 2 levels, and that's multiple people. So this Apprentices team may even find themselves in a worse spot than they were game 1, to where they could at least maybe put up a fight, but now they just can't. They have to give everything up, in my opinion here, Barry.
Yeah, there's not a lot you can do. Again, you're finding yourself in a very similar situation that you were in game 1. Luckily, this time you do have a Rom, and he can snipe and try to steal with less danger than they had last game.
Iron Mancer will be pulled relatively free. I would not be surprised if Ghouls, especially if they see this Rama on this left tower, say, let's do gold for a Fire Giant. A Fire Giant will be pulled here.
It comes.
Discordia not in position to contest yet. Pele will spot it out most likely. Sumukong gonna see the Pele. Does Tiger Stun, misses off the mark, but does get the Pele 2 off. As it appears that the Apprentices will not be contesting this Fire Giant. I may speak too soon as Nike is walking up, maybe trying for a miracle steal here, but does get seen. Uses the ult to try to steal, and now will die for his troubles as he blinked into the Ganesh, which means all of his abilities were for move. As now, Rama, maybe taking the tier 2, does not actually get it as Sumukong is running at this Discordia. Discordia going to take a lot of damage from Cloud Somersault, does avoid the damage, slow off the mark, Tiger Stun does connect. Discordia takes a huge amount of damage from Arch Druids and falls to Simon Says Smite as things go from bad to worse for this Apprentices team.
Oh man, it's gotta feel bad. Nike goes for the steal. Don't hate it. Don't hate the idea. At least they're trying to get something done. But you don't even get the tier 2 in left, and your disco dies.
Ghouls, huge play there, getting the fire and multiple kills here as they're just shoving lanes right now. And Simon Says Spite probably knows that he's pretty much unkillable at this point in the game with how far behind the Apprentices are, as left tier 2 will be the call for the Ghouls.
Yeah, I don't think the Apprentices can really do a whole lot here.
Nike ult does expended, but he's burning relatively fast. Sumukong going to use Cloud Somersault. Direct pillars have been used. Discordia forced to dash. Cloud Somersault still in the air. Nike jumps out. Fake Sumukong going for some auto damage, but they do not opt to chase here with the mid T2 going to be the next target while it's sitting at 1 health. And it falls just as quickly. Ghouls getting a lot of huge gold advantage right now, 13k up. Apprentices cannot really defend anything, maybe outside of a bird, and even then it's a little iffy as Ghouls do opt to go for this Primal Fury.
Yeah, the Ghouls definitely on it with these objectives, team rotations. Their fight just looks better all the way around. In general, it seems like it's a more confident team. Confident as in player individuality. So I don't really know what the Apprentices can do right now. You need to get to 20 and try to just take late game fights, but Ghouls have a scaling comp with the Chernobog and the Hebo. Anyone that Hebo gets on is just dead.
I have to concur with you as Beacon will be confirmed by this Hebo. 4-man grouping on this Beacon. Hebo could be in trouble if he doesn't take it. Does get the water spout hand cannon combo off, but is forced to retreat off of the Beacon. But meanwhile, in right lane, 4 members stronger, the Ghouls going for this tier 2 tower as Titans are going to start to shove here in one moment as Beacon finally gets taken by the Order side Apprentices. In fact, tower's going down here. Apprentices are not here yet. This is a Phoenix call. They don't have their Heba, but Heba stops the Nike from going, and this Phoenix burns relatively quickly. Don't even need to bomb it. Bomb it anyways. Cloud Somersault has to be expended to stall for time, but a huge as Lyman Nelson gets soloed in the mid lane by Kuzco. And Lyman Nelson goes from having a decent game to having a very bad game so far, based off the first 10 minutes. Now, as Ghouls group up here for this mid Phoenix, will opt to siege. Dharmic Pillars has been used. Huge damage. Discordia is already 1 health as Water Spout does confirm. Reporter support dies to solo. And now it is just Pele A. Foggle looking to defend this Titan as Titan is burning very fast. Actually, I think this is not the Leech Titan yet, so the game actually gets ended before the Titans unleashed. And Ghouls take that in dominant fashions 2-0 the Apprentices.
Very impressive. Coming in here against a team that's undefeated, and you take them out like yesterday's garbage. Good job, Ghouls.
Very nice plays from, I would say, every member of this Ghouls team. Not really any mistakes in either game. I'd say maybe a little overeager once in game 2, but can't really critique them at all. And if I'm the Apprentices, I have to look myself in the mirror. You got this brand new player that comes down from Deep Sea, who's very good, former Shallow's champions, and he just kind of doesn't even show up for all that much. But to be fair, the rest of his team kind of just fell behind. Rama finishes the game 0-0-0 with 3k damage. If I'm the Apprentices, I may just have to look myself in the mirror and ask what went wrong.
Yeah, you're definitely going to want to vibe that one. Get some more scrims in, and just try to correct the things. You know, regular season, the loss doesn't mean that much, but shattering your mentals can be a lot going into further weeks. Creating discord amongst your team can be a big issue.
All right, with that, we're going to wrap up this QSL series. This has been me, the Dirty Bubble, Barry Toppings, my left, right, and above, and Buckwheat on the cast. And QSL must bid you adieu with a 2-0 set win for the Ghouls. And that will be a wrap. Good night, everyone.